Okay, so this is the video for the exercises in the book starting from page 45. And it starts off with, we'll do number 2 first. It says that one card is drawn from a standard deck of 52 cards, which have been well shuffled seven times. If you remember from earlier in the book, the idea is that if you shuffle seven times, that should be enough to randomize the deck. So with a random choice, you can then apply especially the notion of independence. But before we get to that, let's go over the two definitions that you need. One is disjoint or mutually exclusive, and that definition is if two things happen such that if the first occurs, the second can't happen at the same time, then they count as disjoint or mutually exclusive. The idea is they're separated out. Independence is one thing has no memory of the previous thing, or one is random relative to the others, then independence. Remember that mutually exclusive goes with addition and independence goes with multiplication. Okay, so the first one, A, what's the chances of drawing either a face card or a 10? So or is this symbol once again, and we've got face card, let's call that F, or a 10, so call that T. So what's the probability of this? Well, with or inside, I have a probability of face card or 10. I want to add them up, but in order to do so, you've got to first establish that they are disjoint. Are they in fact disjoint? Well, think about it. Face cards are a jack, queen, or king, and a 10 is 10, and they come in 4 suits. So if you draw a face card, say a jack, you can't at the same time draw a 10. So these are separated out, therefore we can add this up, so that would be the probability of F plus the probability of T for 10, right? And now we can evaluate each of those. What's the probability of getting a face card? Well, there are jack, queen, and king, 3, but there's 4 suits, so there's 12 total. So there's 12 over 52, that's the total. Remember, probabilities are possibilities over possibilities. In this case, the possible ways of getting a face card, there's 3 of them, 4 suits, so 3 times 4, 12, divided by 52, which is the total number of possible cards in the deck, plus, and what's the probability of getting a 10? Well, there's 4 tens, right? For each suit, so it's 4 out of 52. That equals 16 out of 52. So that's that calculation. For the second one, B, getting either a spade or a face card. So let's put that as S or F, S for spade or face card. Can I just add them up? Well, think about it. If you're going to add them up, the problem would be, you might want to say, look, that's the probability of S plus probability of F, because it's or goes with plus, remember, but not necessarily. They go together, but only insofar as they are disjoint. So are these two events disjoint? Getting a spade and getting a face card are actually not disjoint. Why? Because some spades overlap with getting a face card, like you could have a jack of spades. So the problem is, since they aren't separated out, if you get a spade, that doesn't mean that you cannot get a face card at the same time. You can. You can get a spade and a face card. So because they overlap, the problem would be that you count them too many times. So what you have to do in this case is just count them up. How many spades are there? Well, there's 14 for each, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, well, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then jack, queen, king. So there's 14 for each, so that would be 14. And then a face card, well, we established that already. There's 12 total, right? Jack, queen, king, 4 suits, so 12. We can't just add these up because we're counting them twice. So there's 12 here, but the 4 we got to leave off are the spades that count. The face cards, there's going to be jack, queen, king, so we got to take those off, right? Because we counted them already. This 14 includes some face cards, and since we're counting the face cards here, we'd be counting them twice. So what we got to do is take that into account, and so it's actually going to be 10 plus 12, giving us 22 over 52. Alright, if you didn't get that, the idea here is just that the basic idea is that you cannot simply add up. You have to first establish if they are in fact disjoint. Yeah. In this case, they aren't disjoint because there's overlap. So let's stop it there. The main one I want you to focus on in this case is A, and it's applying how we do probabilities, the notation, to then counting it up. There's more exercise coming up later. Let's move on now to 3. 3 says you've got 2 cards drawn in succession from a standard pack of cards. What are the probabilities of drawing first A, 2 hearts in a row with replacements? So let's focus on that. So 2 hearts in a row with replacements. So I got H and H. And the idea with replacement, so I'm asking what's the probability of that. With replacement means you put the heart back in the deck, you shuffle it up so it gets re-randomized. So when I got and here, I'm inclined to do this. I want to say it'll be the probability of H times the probability of H, right? But in order to do that, in order to get and with multiplication, because they go together, I then first have to apply the other definition, which is independence. Are they independent? Well, independence means no memory, remember, no random. So when you put it in with replacement, the idea is it gets randomized. There's no memory. So when you draw again from the deck, it's like you reshuffle it, then it's like a brand new event. So this first one will be the probability of hearts. Well, there are 13, sorry, in the previous page I said 14 total, but there's 13 suits, so that was my mistake. 13 out of 52, and that'll be multiplied by, again, 13 out of 52. And whatever that answer is. Remember, in general, the answers are not what matters, it's how you get there. Like for the exam, even if you get the answer right and you show no work, I can hardly give you any credit. So I want you to spell out how you get there. That matters most. The answer at the end is worth usually like only 1 point for the exams and whatnot. They're worth the least. It's how you get there. The reasoning matters most. Okay, so that's A. Let's move on now to B. So B says without replacement. So I first draw, so the probability of a heart, and then I want to multiply by the probability of getting a second heart, but now with a lesser deck. So the first heart will be 13 out of 52. And then times, I can multiply because these are independent events. When I draw from the second deck, there's also no memory, but it's just a lesser deck. So it'll be 12, because there's one less heart, right? Out of 51, because I took one out of the deck. And that's how you do that. Okay, C, 2 cards, neither of which is a heart, with replacement. So let's do that one now. So we got 2 cards, neither of which is a heart. So what does that mean? Well, if it's not a heart, that means there's 52 cards total in the deck. There are 13 of each suit, so minus off the 13. So that'll be 39, right? So 39 remaining cards. So that first one, probability of, let's call it not heart, and that's the second part with replacements, right? So second, and also not a heart with replacement. This in turn equals probability of not heart times probability of not heart. Why can I multiply? Again, these are independent events, because when I put the card back in, I shuffle it, and that means no memory, random. So you can multiply these two things. This first one would be 39 over 52, and the second would be times, again, 39 over 52. Whatever that number ends up being, you can do the calculation on your own. By the way, I should mention no calculators on the exams. You have to do everything by hand, and I'll try to make the calculations as simple as possible, but no calculators, no electronic access, only stuff by hand. You bring just a pen or pencil and your brain. That's it. Okay, I'll skip D. That's enough for now. We'll come back to practicing more with the second set, but the point here is practice these first, try it out, get confused a little bit, then come back to the video and get clarification. And if it's still not clear, that's fine. You practice more. This is a skills type course. You got to practice. You got to keep up with the work. That's just part of it. See you next time.